The Young and the Restless spoilers, Martin's escape plan, newest Abbott kidnapping drama? The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins, may have a new and shady escape plan in the works. Will the Abbott family have to deal with another kidnapping drama? Martin Laurent makes an appearance. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the Wednesday, July 22nd episode confirm that Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, had a video call with Martin. The hope was that Tracy could get the goods on Dr. Lawrence Markham, Jerry Burns, the man who kidnapped Diane Abbott, Susan Walters. Markham is missing right now, and the Abbotts are desperate for him to be in police custody. Regardless, during their chat, Martin was more than paranoid about his doctor at the prison. He talked about the fact that they wanted to control his every move. When asked about Lawrence, aka Larry, Martin remembered him as a colleague his brother, Alan Laurent, Christopher Cousins, was friends with. In fact, he recalled a summer home that Alan had been invited to. With that said, Martin refused to divulge the location of the summer home and insisted Tracy meet him in person for the details. As it was not indicated that the home was Markham's or a place he rented on occasion, Tracy felt as if the only way she could get that information was to visit him in prison. While Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, Cal Abbott, Michael Mueller, and Diane insisted she didn't have to, Tracy felt this was the only way to get more intel they needed on Larry's whereabouts. Martin's sketchy plan. Martin is a master manipulator and a psychopath. So does he have information on Markham? Or does he have bigger plans in store for Tracy? He might be bluffing about the intel he has. Tracy will be entering a high-security facility, so she doesn't have concerns. But with that said, Martin is an evil genius and 10 steps ahead of everyone, always. Going to visit Martin seems like a huge risk. Could Tracy get hurt? Will Martin use Tracy as a way to escape his lockup? Share your thoughts. Just when the Abbott family believed the worst was finally behind them, a new storm may be gathering inside the walls of a maximum security prison. Martin Laurent has never been a man who accepts defeat, and if his latest conversation with Tracy Abbott is any indication, his dangerous game is far from over. Martin knows something, or at least he wants everyone to believe he does. By dangling the promise of crucial information about the elusive Dr. Lawrence Markham, Martin has managed to do the impossible. Convince Tracy that a face-to-face meeting might be the only way to protect her family. But what if that information is nothing more than bait? If Martin is planning an escape, Tracy could become the centerpiece of his most ambitious scheme yet. A master manipulator never stops playing. Martin has always relied on intelligence rather than brute force. Unlike villains who charge into conflict, he carefully studies every weakness before making his move. Fear, trust, guilt, and hope are all tools in his arsenal. That is exactly why his request feels so unsettling. Instead of revealing everything during a monitored video call, Martin insists that Tracy visit him personally. On the surface, the request seems harmless. Prison security should prevent anything catastrophic from happening. Yet, viewers know Martin has a remarkable ability to turn even the safest environment into a psychological battlefield. Could he simply be manipulating Tracy emotionally? Or has he spent weeks planning something much bigger? Why Tracy is the perfect target? Tracy has always been the emotional heart of the Abbott family. She believes in redemption, compassion, and finding the good in people, even those who have made terrible mistakes. Martin understands this. He knows that appealing to Tracy's sense of responsibility gives him an advantage that he would never have with Jack or Diane. Where others see a monster, Tracy sees someone whose fractured mind may still contain valuable truths. That compassion could become her greatest vulnerability. If Martin convinces Tracy that only she can prevent another tragedy, she may unknowingly walk straight into his carefully designed trap. An escape hidden in plain sight? Soap operas thrive on shocking twists, and prison escape stories rarely unfold the way audiences expect. Instead of overpowering guards or staging an explosive breakout, Martin could engineer chaos from within. Imagine several simultaneous emergencies erupting inside the prison. A security system malfunctions. Medical staff rush to another wing. Communications fail at the worst possible moment. During the confusion, Martin doesn't necessarily need complete freedom. He only needs leverage. And leverage could come in the form of Tracy Abbott, another Abbott family nightmare. The Abbott family has already endured kidnapping nightmares before, making the possibility of another crisis especially painful. Jack would immediately blame himself for allowing Tracy to meet Martin. Diane would question every decision leading up to the visit. Kyle would insist on joining the search if Tracy disappeared. Ashley, despite her complicated relationship with the family, would likely return ready to confront Martin once and for all. The emotional fallout could be enormous. Instead of simply rescuing another family member, the Abbotts might face impossible choices that divide them from within. Martin's ultimate goal. Escaping prison may not actually be Martin's primary objective. His real prize could be psychological revenge. Martin thrives on controlling people long after they think they've escaped his influence. Every frightened glance, every desperate family meeting, and every sleepless night gives him exactly what he wants. Even if he never steps outside prison walls, creating panic throughout Genoa City could represent victory in his eyes. But if he does escape, the consequences become almost limitless. A dangerous alliance? One possibility is that Martin isn't acting alone. If outside allies remain loyal to him, they could coordinate events beyond prison walls while Martin directs everything from inside. That would explain why he appears unusually confident despite his incarceration. Perhaps someone is waiting for instructions. Perhaps someone has already infiltrated positions where they can interfere with transportation, communications, or even security. If that's true, Tracy's prison visit could simply be the opening move in a much larger operation. Jack Abbott faces his greatest test. Jack has spent years protecting his family through business battles, personal betrayals, and dangerous enemies. This challenge would be different. How do you fight someone whose greatest weapon is manipulation? Jack may discover that every decision carries devastating consequences. If he refuses Martin's demands, Tracy could remain in danger. If he cooperates, Martin becomes even more powerful. The impossible choices could push Jack into one of the most emotionally charged storylines the series has delivered in years. Could Martin be bluffing? Of course. Another possibility exists. Martin may possess no useful information whatsoever. Everything from his cryptic clues to his insistence on an in-person meeting could be an elaborate performance designed to regain relevance and control. After all, Martin understands that fear often accomplishes more than violence. By making everyone believe something terrible is about to happen, he forces the Abbott family into a state of constant anxiety. Sometimes the anticipation of disaster is even more destructive than the disaster itself. What fans should watch for? Several clues could reveal Martin's true intentions in upcoming episodes. If conversations increasingly focus on prison security, transportation arrangements, or unusual staff behavior, viewers may be witnessing the early stages of a carefully orchestrated escape. Likewise, if Martin continues withholding information while demanding additional meetings, his motives become even more suspicious. Whether his plan ends with a dramatic prison break, a terrifying hostage situation, or simply another psychological game, one thing seems certain. Martin is not finished causing chaos. The Abbott family may believe they are searching for answers, but they could actually be walking into Martin Lawrence's latest masterpiece of manipulation.